Starting us off at number 10, Cameron Diaz. Actress Cameron Diaz had a pretty successful career early on. Her breakout role was in the 1994 film The Mask starring Jim Carrey. She then went on to star in other acclaimed films like My Best Friend's Wedding, Shrek, and Charlie's Angels. Cameron experimented with a lot of different kinds of roles she played, from romantic comedies to dramas to action films. Cameron booked a lot of different roles in the beginning, but things certainly aren't that way anymore. There are a few reasons as to why people think that her career just hasn't aged well and why she stopped working. One reason is that people think that she was actually too successful in her early days and burnt out later down the road. Others think that it was because of her sudden decision to stick to her comfort zone when it comes to roles that broke her, since she used to hop between genres and was a fresh face for many types of films. Over the years, Cameron stuck to comedies and rom-coms, so she became tiresome on camera. Others think that it was the Shrek franchise that really did it in for her. Though the Shrek franchise is just chef's kiss level entertainment, with its spin-off holiday films and musicals. Yes, there was a musical, I was in it in high school, absolutely legendary. Critics believe that because Shrek stuck around for so long, it was hard for Cameron to crawl out of its shadow, and her career was never really able to recover from being Princess Fiona. I mean, if my career ended with Shrek, I think I'd be okay with it. In at number 9, Brad Pitt. Now, this aging might be considered a stretch, but it still counts, so I'm going with it. Sometimes in film and TV, makeup artists and the CGI editors have to make an actor or character look much older than they really are. Sometimes it's a cool transition, and other times the actor ends up looking a little worse for wear in their simulated old age. This is sort of the case with Brad Pitt from The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. In the film about a man who ages backwards, the production team had the task of aging Brad Pitt to make himself older and younger than he really was. Though the production and editing of Brad's older form was very well done and convincing, his actual older looks were questionable. Again, not because the production was bad, just because it made Brad look nearly unrecognizable. At his oldest, Benjamin's character looked sort of like a hairless cat. He was wrinkled and mostly bald and very thin. It's hard to think that a 43-year-old man was under all those special effects. It wasn't his best look, but it was one of his best roles. At number 8, Alicia Silverstone. Alicia Silverstone, known for her lead role in the 1995 film Clueless, began her film career in the mid-90s and continued making hit films for the rest of the decade into the early 2000s. Though her career started off with a bang and she was quickly brought into stardom, her fame didn't really last long, as over the years she's fallen into obscurity. Her first major fumble was from her role as Batgirl in the 1997 film Batman and Robin. She even won a Razzie Award for Worst Supporting Actress. I mean, that's not a good award. Why do they have awards for worst? That's just rubbing it in. Like, you tried your best. That's not nice. She's been in other productions, but she never quite hit as hard as she did in her early career. Though I don't think this really bothers her much, as she's revealed that she never wanted to be a movie star in the first place, if you can believe it. Alicia said that she was more of a theater nerd and never wanted the level of stardom that she found in her early years. It seems that as the years went on and the hype of her role in Clueless died down, Alicia shied away from the spotlight, resurfacing a few times, but mostly keeping to herself and her personal passions and projects. At number 7, Britney Spears. Britney Spears isn't what she used to be. Though she rose to fame for being that innocent baby-voiced pop star, she has definitely changed since then. It isn't just her appearance that has changed over the years. First of all, her voice has changed. I know that she still sings in that same high-pitched voice, but she struggles to maintain that since it's not her real voice. If you've heard what she really sounds like, it's completely different. Her vocal cords have deteriorated over time and is now known for lip syncing since her voice is basically destroyed. On top of that, her reputation has also aged quite a bit. First she was the bubbly pop star that everyone loved, then she was the crazy pop star who shaved her head, and now she's the trapped pop star who doesn't even own her own life. Yeah, sure, she's aged herself, like she's getting older, but she still looks great. But her career has aged horribly since it's completely different from what it used to be, even though she and her management are trying to salvage whatever's left of her image. At 6, Jim Carrey. I'm including Jim in this list because I'm a little bamboozled by him. First, let's discuss his physical age. In 2017, when he was 55, he was out here looking like this. He looked quite aged, gray hair and beard included. He honestly didn't look 55 at all. He was looking at least 10 years older. Now fast forward to 2019 when he hits the red carpet looking like this. What? My guy went back in time. It's such a drastic change. Just by cleaning himself up a bit and dyeing his hair, he looked 10 years younger than he did in 2017. Crazy. But that's not the only thing that has changed drastically. His career has also changed. Though his career in the 90s and early 2000s was stacked with hits like The Mask, Ace Ventura, and The Grinch, again, personal favorite, in later years it hasn't been the same. According to Rotten Tomatoes, his 2018 film Dark Crimes has a pretty rotten rating and was not at all well received by critics. Also, he was in the Sonic movie, so need I say more. Jim has aged quite a bit, not as bad as some, but still quite drastically. Halfway through at number 5, Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan has had quite a tumultuous career so far, going from being a beloved child star to being somewhat of a has-been with some public stunts and scandals here and there. Lindsay has aged herself quite a bit. Lindsay is only in her 30s, so she's still really young, but throughout her years of alcohol and drug abuse, this has done some damage to her physical appearance over the years. Lindsay has had her time in rehab for her addiction and overall wellness. So that stress and less than healthy habits seem to have taken its toll. Not to mention, her reputation has also aged ungracefully as well. She had a lot of success in her early career, but there came a point where her public stunts and unhealthy lifestyle got the best of her. She seems to be doing okay now and is coming to grips with the life that she has. In at 4, Carrot Top. For anyone who knows who Carrot Top is, you know he's a very eccentric guy. The stand-up comedian is now 55 years old, but is honestly looking a little odd. I mean, in true Carrot Top fashion, I guess it works for him, but for a lot of online critics, he's looking a little worse for wear. I hadn't seen a picture of him in so long, so when I was researching this list, I was almost shocked at how different he looked now. Though people have claimed that he's had some bad work done to him, Carrot Top denies everything and says that's just the way he's built. We don't know if the plastic surgery speculation is true at all, but either way, Carrot Top is out here looking unique as a middle-aged man. It's nice to see that even though he's aged, he's still staying true to his signature look, even if people aren't too stoked about it. Coming in at number 3, Ozzy Osbourne. The famed Black Sabbath member is far past his prime. Though he was a hit musician in the 70s, he was fired from the group in 1979 due to his heavy substance abuse. His drug and alcohol usage was probably the reason why he's aged so poorly. His substance problem is so well documented that there's a pretty lengthy section about it on his wiki page. Like, it's pretty long. It is said that he was once so heavily intoxicated that he forgot an entire year of his life. He was so drunk that he fired his band just to not remember doing that, and the next day carrying on as if nothing happened. Obviously, this kind of heavy substance usage does some serious damage to your health. Ozzy is only 71, which is still pretty young, but his skin looks dull and wrinkled from his long history of substance experimentation. He's talented, I'll give him that, but his past has definitely come back to haunt him and his well-being. I know that he suffers from Parkinson's syndrome, and that has already affected his body and overall health, but I'm sure his substance abuse from the past has also made a big impact as well. At number 3, Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson has had a tumultuous career to say the least. Mel fell from grace and he fell hard. His career has aged worse than anyone else on this list by a landslide. Not only has he had abuse and assault allegations against him, but he also has a history of anti-Semitism and racial aggressions. His career took a turn for the worse after years of buildup of his poor actions, but after the release of his religious film The Passions of the Christ, he was basically shut out of Hollywood for the remainder of his career. His film was criticized for its violence and anti-Semitic ideals. Because of his negative view by Hollywood executives, he struggled to book individual roles, and this has driven his career into the dirt. The only thing that really seems to be keeping his career intact is his directing. He's directed The Passions of the Christ, obviously, as well as Hacksaw Ridge, and now the sequel to the Passions film. So although he started off strong in the film industry, over time he's gone from hero to zero, and I don't think we will ever see a comeback. Coming in at number 2, Michael J. Fox. I'm including this one because he looked questionable at best. So in another iteration of celebrities who were aged for a role, we have Michael J. Fox from Back to the Future Part 2. In this film, we see Michael's character, Marty McFly, as a 47-year-old man in the year 2015. Now, we're not going to talk about the fact that this movie made some wild predictions about how the year 2015 was going to look, because that is a whole other video. We're going to talk about how the makeup department did Michael so dirty when they aged him up. Obviously, McFly's aging was the result of makeup and not special effects, because you can kind of see it in his face, but still, they made the guy look a little funky and not in a good way. They added prosthetics to his forehead and cheeks to give him more defined wrinkles and jowls, and they also receded his hairline, added grayed hairs, and made his eyebrows look the complete opposite of fleeky. Fox, who is now 59 years old in real life, looks much better and even much younger than his 47-year-old self in the film. I hope that back then when they were filming and they got him into his old man getup, that Michael didn't think that he'd actually look like this in the future, because that is so not true. Finally, into number 1, Michael Jackson. I'm sure we are all familiar with Michael Jackson's appearance later in his life. He went from being a good-looking guy with a thick afro to being a thin, pale man with thinning hair and skin. Most of the changes in his appearance were due to his health. His change in complexion was due to his vitiligo, and his thinning hair was due to age as well as chemical relaxing. He also got a lot of plastic surgery done, which didn't really aid in his appearance. The constant alterations done to his face in particular caused his skin to thin and wrinkle, which just added to the cycle of his work. And his infamous nose job changed the proportions of his face, which really made him look even bonier with his thin, pointed nose. He kinda looked like the other mother from Coraline. If you know what I'm talking about, you get it. Over the years, Michael's appearance worsened with age as he tried to correct what time had caused, but really it just worsened its outcomes. The only thing that didn't age poorly about Michael was his musical abilities. Though his appearance and health deteriorated over the years, his talent stayed legendary.
And at number 10, Jameela Jamil. Jameela Jamil is known for her signature black hair and split-cut bangs, but she decided to make a big change for fall and revealed on Instagram that she dyed her hair a beautiful pumpkin shade. At first she captioned the photo, "Okay Boomer," then she changed the caption to read, "Multipass." The hair color change is most likely related to her new role as Marvel supervillain Titania in the new She-Hulk series. This color is a big change for Jameela, but it's been very popular among other celebrities for fall. Both Sophie Turner and Gigi Hadid have also dyed their hair similar shades of orange recently. And at number 9, Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen is known for his signature look, and he hasn't changed much during his time in Hollywood, until now. On May 7th, Seth revealed his new look that he's been sporting while filming the movie Pam and Tommy, a Hulu series based on Baywatch star Pamela Anderson and her husband, Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee, detailing the scandal after an intimate tape of the couple was leaked. In the photo set, he shares photos of Lily James and Sebastian Stan, along with photos of himself, writing that his co-stars are much cooler than him. Not only did Seth shave his beard, he's also rocking a mullet haircut. The comments on the photo are all shocked, with fans hardly able to recognize Rogen in the photos. And at number 8, Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish's changing hair colors are pretty much synonymous with her brand at this point, and she is most famous for her bright green roots and black hair look. But she decided to make a big change in 2021 by bleaching her hair blonde and getting an old Hollywood haircut. Since Billie is usually very edgy, this was a big change for fans. Billie decided to answer some questions about the hair in an informal Q&A session. She revealed that she kept the hair a secret from her fans for 6 weeks because that's how long it took to get the hair color just right. She even included a photo of her first dye job where her hair was completely 2 tones. She also revealed after the bleaching her hair is shockingly healthier than ever. As a person with bleached hair, I have no idea how that's possible, but very good for her. I wish that was the same for me.
Coming in at 7, Hailee Atwell. Here's another instance of a celebrity whose on-screen aging didn't do them any favors. Hailee Atwell in her role as Peggy Carter in Captain America: Winter Soldier. In the film, we see Peggy Carter in her late 90s in her hospital bed suffering from Alzheimer's. As she was in her late 90s, obviously her physical appearance looked quite dated. She had silver hair, wrinkles, and age spots on her face and hands, another sign of old age. In the scene where we see Peggy and Steve Rogers interacting, the special effects have the actress looking nothing like her true self and was aged far beyond her years. I mean, for 90 plus, her character was looking well, but she still aged rather badly in regards to her health. As she had Alzheimer's, you could see how Peggy began to fade away as the degenerative disease took hold of her, and as she aged, it got worse. In at 6, Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire's career was at its peak in the 2000s, but suddenly it imploded, leaving him with a bad rep in Hollywood and a less than ideal career. Tobey was made famous for his role as Spider-Man in the Sam Raimi trilogy. At the height of his career, Tobey was bringing the role of Peter Parker to life, making millions, and landing himself among Hollywood's A-list stars. But coming into 2007 and the third Spider-Man film in the series, things began to turn sour for the actor. Firstly, he began demanding more money from the studio. People believed that as he found more fame, his ego got larger as well, and he became more greedy and self-absorbed. Now, even though he was demanding more money, he was doing less work as he struggled with an injury on set, which prompted the need for doctors to be with Toby at all times while filming. There was only so much that Toby was able to do, even to the point where his doctors had to map out exactly how many steps Toby was able to take in a scene. So this extravagant cost to pay both Toby and his doctors added to the rest of the film's budget and added to its failure as it tanked at the box office when it was released. Obviously, this didn't help Toby's career, and this combined with his gambling problem and bad attitude towards others, this landed him the name Bully Maguire and ultimately shunned from Hollywood. His career aged poorly with the evolution of his on-screen character as well as his off-screen persona. Halfway through at number 5, Keith Richards. I've seen a lot of sources say that Keith Richards has aged horribly. Some say that it was his rock and roll lifestyle that did it in for him and his looks, and others say that he just lost out in the gene department and that he just wasn't destined to age gracefully. I'm on the fence here. I honestly don't think he looks that bad. I mean, he could definitely look worse. If you watched part 1 of this video, then you remember how I talked about Prince Philip and how he's looking nowadays. It could always be worse. Now, Keith Richards, is he the most graceful ager? No, probably because of his drug usage in his younger rock and roll days. But has he stopped that kind of lifestyle? Yes, and I think he's gonna be fine. Right now he's 76 years old and he's still looking relatively young, so I think he's on the right track. I'd say he's about a 5 on the poor aging scale. Coming in at number 4, Mickey Rourke. Following Keith Richards, we have Mickey Rourke, and although I said that Keith was fine and things could be worse, I'm gonna have to bring this up as one of the worst cases with Mickey here. I wish I could say, oh Mickey, you're so fine, but I can't. He's had a lot of work done over the years to the point that he doesn't even look like himself anymore. At 68 years old, he's looking a little rough, not because he's an old wrinkled mess, but because he tried a little too hard to correct his aging with plastic surgery, and things went wrong. In his early career, he was praised for his baby face and boyish charm, but now, not so much. I think that the lesson we learn from celebrities like this is that sometimes it's just best to let the aging process happen. I mean, you wouldn't stop a fine wine or cheese from aging, would you? No, no way. Just let it happen, babes. It's a beautiful thing.
And at number 3, Tom Cruise. Legendary actor Tom Cruise shocked fans last weekend while he was out at a baseball game. The actor is known for his looks, so fans were shocked to see he looked different than usual. There were no major changes, but for some reason, Tom Cruise did not look like himself. He watched Game 2 of the National League Division Series, watching the San Francisco Giants play the LA Dodgers with his son Connor. After the photos went viral on Twitter, fans were shocked to learn that the person in the photo was Tom Cruise. It was speculated this was a result of weight gain. Some even thought he might have gotten some bad filler or botox. One comment said, quote, "This looks like someone wearing Tom Cruise's face." But others actually defended the actor, saying he most likely just gained some weight between movies and we shouldn't fat shame him for looking normal. And at number 2, Heather Locklear. Heather Locklear was a bombshell in the 80s and 90s, known for her beauty for most of her career. However, she took time out of the spotlight in 2018 after she suffered an OD followed by some time in rehab. She then was arrested after allegedly assaulting an emergency medical technician that was called to her home during a domestic dispute. Now that Heather has recovered, she is back working. She's starring in a new Lifetime movie called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, the Christine Carlson story, as well as recently getting engaged to longtime partner Chris Heiser. The promo for the movie was recently released, and fans were shocked to see that Locklear looks very different from her usual self. Fans are saying her face looks very puffy, probably due to too much filler. And finally, number 1, Angus T. Jones. Since the hit show 2.5 Men ended 6 years ago, Angus T. Jones has been out of the spotlight and is on a path to live a normal life not acting. Since he has stayed low-key, he is rarely seen out in public. However, he was recently spotted in LA looking completely unrecognizable from Jake Harper on 2.5 Men. Angus was just 10 years old when he started out on the show and was 21 by the time of the 2015 finale. In August, the 27-year-old was spotted in LA with a full beard covering the lower half of his face. He was dressed pretty casually in a t-shirt, shorts, and beanie hat, but most notably he was not wearing any shoes. Not really sure why, but there's that. If you look too fast, most likely you wouldn't even have recognized that it was Angus. Side note, my favorite movie of his was See Spot Run. It's hilarious if you haven't seen it. It is literally one of the funniest movies ever. just a side note. And at number 10, Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell looked completely unrecognizable in the new Batman trailer, where he's playing the Penguin. The 2022 version of the classic story is starring Robert Pattinson as Batman and Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. In Farrell's version of the Penguin, he looks somewhat like a mafia boss. This is different than what we know from the comics, where the Penguin is seen with a top hat, a monocle, and a fancy three-piece suit. Farrell is clearly wearing heavy prosthetics that change the entire shape and structure of his face, along with making him much heavier than his usual self. Farrell also looks much different than Danny DeVito's 1992 version of the character. In that one, DeVito looks straight out of a Tim Burton movie. And at number 9, Christopher Hivju. The Game of Thrones actor recently joined the show The Witcher for its second season, and he looks drastically different from his work as Tormund. We got a sneak peek of his character on Henry Cavill's Instagram. Henry is the main character on The Witcher. He wrote, quote, "The amazing, the wonderful, the electric, enigmatic Christopher Hivju." Christopher was extraordinarily brave for season 2 of The Witcher and decided to play his character Nivellen with zero makeup or visual effects, as you can see above. In the photo we see heavy prosthetics along with Christopher even wearing horns around his mouth. So clearly Henry Cavill was being sarcastic in his post. And at number 7, Dylan O'Brien. Dylan O'Brien shocked fans when he shared his new bleach blonde buzz cut with the world. The Maze Runner star is known for his scruffy brown hair, but his style took a complete 180 when he shaved and bleached his hair for his role in the upcoming film For You. The movie's official TikTok showed off O'Brien's transformation while shooting was underway in August of 2021. Along with the hairstyle change, he also has a sleeve of fake tattoos. Dylan plays Colin in the movie. The look at fans so crazy that Dylan's name actually started trending on Twitter shortly after the TikTok was posted. In at number 6, Khloe Kardashian. Khloe Kardashian generally isn't known for changing up her hairstyle. She usually sports brown or blonde hair, usually long and straight. But she recently revealed that her natural hair is really different than what you might expect, and she has beautiful curls. She shared a carousel featuring multiple images and videos of her natural hair, with a caption reading, quote, "I rarely wear my natural hair texture, felt kinda cute with it, please don't ruin the feeling." The texture is a mix of loose, highlighted waves and curls that reach about her shoulders. She even shared a picture of herself when she was younger with huge bouncy curls. She says her hair looks very different now because of straightening treatments. Halfway number 5, Gabrielle Union. Gabrielle Union showed off a huge hair transformation in July of 2021 when she revealed she got a super short haircut. She captioned the photos of her new look saying, quote, "So I did a thing. The movies always show women cutting their hair when all is lost, but I wanted to know the feeling of making a change when things are gravy. It is different and it's foreign to me, but I'm happy with this new. Union was flooded with compliments on the new look, with many specifically loving her message that not all big changes need to happen as a result of trauma. My current bleach blonde hair is a result of a breakup, so I can resonate with the message that, yeah, hair change through trauma, that is what this is, but I've had it for 3 years since, so I mean, I'm happy about it." And at number 4, Christina Aguilera. Christina is known for her classic blonde locks that she's had for most of her career, but she just decided to switch things up, maybe for Halloween, and she's now rocking a gorgeous auburn shade. The stunning photo showed Christina sitting at a table wearing gloves, along with wearing heavy black makeup and a smoky eye. Fans are absolutely losing it over the transformation. One commented, quote, "Honey, I just almost fell down a flight of stairs when I saw this picture." The next wrote in all caps, "The world is ready," and a third said, "Oh my god, I'm screaming." This is not the only change that Christina has made recently. She also revealed she lost 50 pounds with a series of diet, exercise, and lifestyle changes. And at number 3, Ariana Grande. When you think of Ariana Grande, her signature ponytail is probably the first thing that pops into mind, but Ariana is looking entirely different from her former self in the new promo material for The Voice. Ariana is the show's newest judge, and she's taken on an entirely new aesthetic. In the promo materials, fans shared that they didn't even realize it was Ariana. She's wearing less makeup, her skin is less tanned, and her hair is short and down instead of in a ponytail. One author even joked that she looks like a, quote, "married white woman," following her marriage to Dalton Gomez. Another said the lack of makeup might be the reason for her new look. They wrote, quote, "Is it just because she's not wearing dark makeup, or does she have an entirely different face?" And at number 2, Demi Lovato. Demi Lovato has been going through a lot of changes recently, some physically and others mentally. After Demi revealed that they prefer they/them pronouns, Demi has changed their style considerably. Demi used to be known for their long black hair, but recently they chopped it into a mullet-like hairstyle. At one point, Demi was even rocking a hairstyle that looked almost identical to the Kardashian matriarch, Kris Jenner. Fans are even posting side-by-side photos of them compared, and it's crazy how similar these hairstyles are. But that's not all. Demi has also been open about their new fascination with UFOs. They're even creating a new show around the topic and potentially having interactions with UFOs. And finally, number 1, Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon looks nothing like the man we've seen before on the big screen, and he shocked his fans when he uploaded a picture showing his face looking bloated and puffy. He was also clean shaven in the photo. It's clear the change is due to prosthetics, as he was looking slim the last time he was seen out before this photo. And Kevin's actually not a stranger to changing himself for roles. He's transformed many times before in his advertisements for mobile network operator EE. One fan even commented on the photo saying Kevin's new look is most likely for the same commercial. Another fan joked that he needed to cut down on the bacon.
Kicking things off at number 10, Donatella Versace. Famous designer Donatella Versace has endured her fair share of criticisms in the past, mostly pertaining to her look. Donatella's appearance has definitely evolved over time, but I mean, she's the head of a designer Versace company. I think she remains unfazed by what people have to say about her appearance. I mean, she's got money, she doesn't care. She's been criticized for her heavy plastic surgery and botox, and people have even made comparison diagrams of her looks back in '97 when she took over the Versace company after the death of her brother, to now at the age of 65. People are saying that because of the botox and fillers she's received over the years, her skin's elasticity is broken, and this leads her to looking older, so she wants to keep getting botox and that cycle continues. I have to admit that yes, her skin is looking damaged because of the work she's had done, but like I said, she's the head of one of the biggest designer brands in the world, so her appearance really doesn't matter. At number 9, Prince Philip. Let's talk about my Uncle Phil. He's not really my uncle, but my dad used to try and convince me and my family that we related to the Queen because we're British and that she's my aunt. I love my Aunt Eliza. Anyway, Phil. My man is 99 years old and still kicking. I applaud this man for his resilience, but also he's not looking too great. I'm not trying to shade the man, but come on. There have been a number of fake news articles saying that Phil is dead, and I can't really say I'm surprised. I don't know if there's something going on with his health or something, but the man's not looking too good. He had been working and doing his royal duties until the age of 96. 96! And he only just came out of retirement to return to his royal duties for a brief period of time this year to observe the commemorative anniversary of victory over Japan Day, because he was on active duty the day that Japan surrendered 75 years ago. The fact that this nearly 100-year-old man came out of retirement to participate in this occasion is astonishing. I really hope that Phil hangs on a few more years, because it would really be nice to see him enjoy his retirement for a little while longer. Love you, Uncle Phil. And at 8, Nicolas Cage. There are some people who think that Nick Cage is a vampire because he doesn't age. I'm not kidding. This is a real speculation, but I'm not here to talk about the idea that he hasn't aged. I'm here to talk about how much he has. And not just himself, but his career. Nicolas Cage has had a pretty successful career. From National Treasure to Ghost Rider to Moonstruck, one of my personal favorites, Nick Cage has seen the rise of his career. But as all things must do, things fall. Nicolas Cage hasn't been featured in many big budget films recently. Though he's still a household name, things just aren't what they used to be since he's gotten older. The film industry is notorious for dropping their stars when they get too old, and that kinda sucks, cause I feel like a good old Nick Cage movie is just what we need to get us through these challenging times. But unfortunately, things just aren't the same for Mr. Cage. He's even racked up some pretty hefty debts, and since he's not getting the work that he once was, he can't pay it off. Even his net worth has gone down significantly compared to what it used to be in his prime. Nick here is looking pretty good for his age, but Hollywood doesn't think so, and that's just too bad. At least we're getting a Nicolas Cage meta-drama soon, cause that'll be great.
And at number 7, Matthew Perry. Matthew Perry had worried fans in new paparazzi photos taken of the actor. In the photos, he was picking up a coffee at Starbucks, but eyewitnesses say he was chain smoking the whole time, and he looked unkempt and disheveled. Others say he was also out of breath while walking to grab the drink. Concerns about Perry's health started after the Friends reunion aired, where Perry was slurring his words, along with nodding off during an interview. Many fans shared their concern for him in the comments of that video. One read, quote, "I hope he gets better soon. I don't know how I'm going to enjoy the reunion when Matthew is this sad." And at number 6, Renee Zellweger. Renee Zellweger was just seen out filming for her new role as convicted killer Pam Hupp, and she looked unrecognizable. Most notably, Renee was significantly heavier than her typical small frame. This was due to a fat suit she was wearing that made her look more similar to Hupp. Zellweger also appeared to have a prosthetic nose to further the transformation. The project is NBC crime series called The Thing About Pam. Pam Hupp was convicted of killing Louis Gumpenberger. She has also been accused of killing other people but not convicted for any other crimes. This fat suit has actually been controversial, but it's assumed that Zellweger took this route instead of gaining weight like she did for her past role playing Bridget Jones, where she put on a lot of weight for the role and took a toll on her mental health. Halfway number 5, Hailee Steinfield. The Met Gala is usually a place where stars dress incredibly different from their usual selves, but Hailee shocked the world when she came looking entirely different than we'd ever seen her before. I actually had to do a double take to make sure it was even her. At the event, she ditched her signature brown hair for a silvery white bob. Her makeup also completed the look, elevating the white and silvery nature of the Iris Van Herpen outfit she was wearing at the event. We've seen Hailee at the event a few times before, but never looking like this. Although the look was totally epic, she went back to her classic brown hair right after. And at number 4, Nicole Kidman. Nicole Kidman has completely transformed into Lucille Ball for the new movie based on her life called Being the Ricardos. The film will follow Lucille and Desi during a whirlwind week at filming I Love Lucy, with the story unfolding during a Monday table read until it wraps up with a Friday TV shoot in front of a live audience. Not only has Kidman nailed her look, insiders say that Kidman sounds identical to Ball as well and has nailed her signature voice. One of Lucille's children even praised the film, saying that Nicole Kidman did a spectacular job in the role.
At number 2, Pamela Anderson. In nearly every article about celebrities who've aged poorly, you're bound to see Pamela Anderson's name pop up. Honestly, I don't know why. To me, she looks fine. I've seen worse. I mean, look at Phil. Need I say more? At only 53 years old, people are criticizing how she's aging and criticizing her use of Botox and plastic surgery to stay youthful. I've seen people saying that her past lifestyle of living on the edge has cost her her beauty and now she's paying for it by getting work done to look good. Or that her Botox and plastic surgery makes her look worse than before, but again, I'm not really seeing a problem here. I don't really see a problem with anyone on this list. Again, except for Phil. No offense, but come on, you see it too, right? Pam has also said that she enjoys aging, so I mean, the criticisms don't really have much effect on her anyway. So yeah, she's on this list for aging horribly, but that's just what the internet has said. I'm just here defending her.